One of the most popular Arkham YouTubers, Clownpuncher139, has recently made a video about why the word woke is stupid. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Woke is the single stupidest insult you can give to a piece of media. Every time a new popular thing comes out, idiots on the internet are faster than the friggin' Flash at calling it woke trash. Never expanding beyond that shallow description because they literally can't be bothered to come up with actual reasons without sounding like a complete jackass.
Woke is basically shorthand for lame, gay, and preachy. Non-leftists watching modern movies get the same feel from them that non-Christians get from watching God's Not Dead. What both types of movies have in common, besides just being overly preachy, is besides that they're just low quality and oftentimes have poor writing.
Y'all do realize that there are other reasons that a thing can be bad, right? Nowadays, woke just means that a piece of media is saying something political that you don't like, or includes a character of any race or gender other than white man.
We all agree that movies like Snow White are terrible for reasons other than just politics, but that's certainly part of it. Pretty much nobody has an issue with non-white male characters in movies. It's just when you do it for political reasons and people feel like they're being lectured. Morgan Freeman as Red in The Shawshank Redemption works, even though originally the character was white. But they didn't race swap him for political reasons. They did it because Morgan Freeman was the best guy for the job. In the Batman movie, they race swapped Catwoman just so that way she could lecture Batman about white privilege or something. The reason people don't like the political messaging in modern movies isn't just because they disagree with it, it's just because there's nothing interesting being said. Catwoman lecturing Batman about white privilege isn't interesting, it's just laughably stupid and obnoxious.
Are there things that fall under this category that are genuinely bad? Abso-friggin-lutely. Just look at literally anything that Disney's been pumping out for the last 5 years. But are things that happen to have these qualities automatically bad?
If they don't have anything interesting to say and they're overly preachy, then yeah, they are bad. Also, hiring people based off of DEI qualifications always leads to worse quality. Just look at the airline industry. Obviously, if you hire a bad writer over a good one because they fall under certain demographic qualifications, then naturally movies and TV shows are going to get a lot worse.
Spider-Man Miles Morales, Andor, The Last of Us, Batman Arkham Shadow, fucking Superman. All of these incredibly popular pieces were called woke by the angry mob for featuring things that are inherently necessary for their stories to function.
Is this essential for Spider-Man Miles Morales' story? Spider-Man Miles Morales had fun gameplay, but it was so damn preachy that it really took me out of the game and broke the immersion. James Jonah Jameson is basically the developer straw man of conservatives, and he isn't even all that funny to begin with. South Park does a much better job at this because it actually loosely bases their parodies of conservatives on reality and doesn't just make shit up. James Jonah Jameson is a sort of parody of a conservative that you would come up with if you've never actually listened to a conservative in your life.
And ultimately make them better stories than any alternatives would have been. Miles Morales is about a black hero solving problems in a primarily black neighborhood. Obviously, the race themes are going to play a pretty important role in the story.
Yeah, but the racial themes are integrated in a sloppy and preachy way.
The Last of Us has a gay main character who shares a kiss with her girlfriend because they love each other. Gay people have existed as far back as ancient Greece and aren't going away just because the apocalypse happened.
Most people who like The Last of Us Part 2 smell like ancient Greece.
And Superman? Bro, I don't even want to start. If you want to hate on Superman for telling us all to just be decent people to each other, you're a friggin' psychopath, and I hope you can learn to be better someday.
Admittedly, I haven't seen the new Superman movie, but this sounds like it's probably a straw man. Calling someone a psychopath over their take on the new Superman movie just seems absurd.
And if you're about to say that it's the woke mob taking over, putting it into every new thing we indulge, where? Guess what? These themes have been a part of every single story you've taken in for decades. You were just too dense to see them.
Well, people saw them. The difference is those stories were a lot better than the ones that are coming out now, and they're a lot more subtle about their messaging. Older movies, even if they're a bit liberal, are much more nuanced than modern movies, and usually they're just better written.
Star Wars has always been about a fascist regime taking over the galaxy with a small group of rebellious spirits banding together to overthrow it.
I don't see how this is especially left-wing coded. I mean, most conservatives don't like dictatorial empires. This is a really terrible way of trying to persuade people. Just yelling at people, straw men, and saying, "You think this," over and over when they've made it very clear that they don't.
Silence of the Lambs is about a young woman trying to navigate her way through a middle-aged, male-dominated workplace by proving that she has all the same skills that they do. The Iron Giant and Godzilla are anti-nuclear war propaganda disguised as a heartwarming kids flick and a badass monster rampage.
I haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, so I'm not going to comment on that, but how is being anti-nuclear war especially liberal coded? Like, I'm pretty sure most conservatives aren't in favor of being in a nuclear holocaust, but what do I know?
Gustavo Fring is gay, and it was his partner's death that spurred him on to become the most ruthless yet secretive drug kingpin in the world.
I haven't seen that movie, but that sounds like a hilarious premise.
American Psycho is literally just about how the rich and powerful can get away with anything because they're rich and powerful.
This is a stretch, because literally everybody agrees that the rich and powerful get away with way more than they should. This isn't especially left-wing coded.
Superman has always been an immigration allegory because he was literally always an alien seeking asylum on a new planet because his home planet blew up.
I don't know, somebody might have to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure in the first issue of Superman, he wasn't part of a Latin American gang, and his name wasn't Mahmoud. Superman has a job, and he isn't on any government welfare programs as far as I'm aware. So, therefore, I don't see how this proves your point in the slightest.
These themes are not some new thing that a crazy, politically correct mob is trying to shove down your throat to convert your kids into the gays. They have always been a part of our stories, and are what make our media worth indulging in the first place.
These themes are what make media worth consuming, so if your stories don't have sodomy in them, then they're not worth telling.
People have started using woke so much that it's lost all meaning. And at this point, if I hear you say it unironically as a critique of a piece of media, I will immediately dismiss your opinion.
We already knew you were going to dismiss the opinion of anybody who disagrees with you. This video is showing you don't really know anything about what the other side actually believes.
Because it likely means that you're too shallow to look past the surface of any given topic, or you're just a bigot in some way trying to spread hate in a world that already has too much of it.
Ah yes, the classic. If you disagree with leftism, then you hate black people.
There are more reasons that the new Snow White is a terrible movie, other than it being woke trash.
Literally nobody said otherwise. Like, if they had a white actress play Snow White, I don't think I'd suddenly like the new movie. So, that's the end of the video, and you might be wondering yourself, why is this Batman Arkham YouTuber, who doesn't allow political comments at the bottom of his videos, why is he all of a sudden making a whole video complaining about politics? Well, he has a brilliant response to that, okay? I am well aware of the hypocrisy of not allowing politics and posting something political. I also don't care. Say whatever the hell you want in the comment section. I'll know exactly what kind of person you are and how much thought I should give you. Instead of commenting on this, I'm just gonna let my really wise friend rebut that really quick.
Acknowledging that you're making a stupid point, followed by making said stupid point, does not make your stupid point any less stupid.
His description is even funnier, so I'm going to pull that up really quick. Hey, look at that. Your favorite Arkham YouTuber has decided to get political. I cannot stand the overabundance of this word being used as a critique. Every time literally anything comes out, someone has to jump on the bandwagon and immediately call it woke trash. It is the laziest, most overused, and meaningless critique that you can say, which 90% of the time doesn't even apply to what you're trying to critique, and you just make yourself look like an idiot. If being honest and correct makes me lose subscribers, so be it. People who unironically use woke as a point of criticism don't have the brain cells necessary to understand my content to begin with, so I will gladly send them away. Music, Thousand March, Pizza Tower. Yes, I personally don't have the intellect to understand the deep and profound insight of Clownpuncher139. If Pascal was still here, he would fall into despair. He would jump in front of a bus because he would know he would never be as wise as Clownpuncher139. We are all fools, plebeians who just don't get him. He's a genius. You know, for a second I was considering saying that Clownpuncher139 should punch himself in the face for making this video, but I get him now. I now see the error of my ways. Right-wingers are all disgusting, evil bigots. If you're on the right, it's secretly because you hate black people. Like and subscribe, otherwise you're a racist bigot who hates anybody who isn't as pasty and white as a jar of mayonnaise buried under a foot of snow.